Current day, it has been liquidated down to subsidiaries, but it started in 1899, February 28th, 1899.
And that's North Carolina,
Yeah, Mutual Life Insurance.
North Carolina Mutual.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Durham, North Carolina, and a guy by the name of John Merrick, he was actually a local barber who actually
Huh.
was the first president of North Carolina Mutual in Durham, North
Interesting.
Carolina. So they are listed as the biggest still in existence black insurance company.
Oh, outstanding,
Yeah.
outstanding. And since
1889.
1889.
1889.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to follow them and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's pretty exciting. Wow. Uh, this is what we talk about here on Money Talk. How to leave a legacy, and that is certainly a legacy there. How to build generational wealth, and you can do that through life insurance, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
A lot of people don't want to talk about life insurance. You know why? Because it's to them it's sort of morbid, and they look at it as like death insurance. Okay, but however, there are some great living benefits to life insurance, and some that you can utilize while you are still living. And we're going to go over a couple of those because we want to recap this because this is what Aaron and I do. Okay. And if you are on Facebook, you're on, let's see, YouTube or LinkedIn, hey, tune in. And you can also drop a comment. All right. Facebook pages, go to Studio W, The Buzz. The same with YouTube. And I think LinkedIn is Studio W or your Studio W The Buzz. Check it out. All right. You can also follow us on the website. The website is studiow.buzz. And go on and subscribe, leave a comment. And if you miss part of the show, you will hear it again for your own benefit or share it with someone. Just go to studiow.buzz. Go to featured shows. Scroll down to Money Talk. And this show will be posted on there. And it's also on, like I said, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So anyway, let's talk about the various types of life insurance. Let's break it down for you because a lot of people, they don't know life insurance. One thing they hear, man, I'm not ready to die yet. Well, we're not talking about that. We talk about something for with the living benefits of it. And also think about protecting your family. Let's say you have a two income household and you're the breadwinner or not. And so you need both of those incomes. Or if you're the sole provider, you definitely need something to sustain your family if you happen to leave, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about term insurance. Now, term insurance has its place. For long term, I'm not a fan of that at all because it's not long term. It will only go for a period of time in its very definition of itself. Term insurance will go, you can get 5-year term insurance. Did you know 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30-year term insurance? So, voila, I've got insurance. Yeah. But let's say you are 25 right now and you buy a 20-year term insurance policy. By the time you are still the ripe young age of 45 years old, guess what? It's over. Now you got a couple of options. You can let it go, or you can pay the increased premium. And when I say increased premium, I mean that it can be 5, 6, 7, 8 times more than the original premium was, okay, or is at the present time. Listen to what I'm saying. 5, 6, 7, 8 times more. And also, if you think about it, a lot of people will drop that because they can't afford the premium after that period of time. So we'll talk about that. Now, where does term insurance fit? Let's say you have a business. You have a buy-sell agreement. You have a partner, okay? And you have insurance on one another. So that allows the partner to buy the families. Let's say the family or your partner has a family, right? They have beneficiaries. That allows the beneficiary to receive a benefit to purchase the business. Or you can buy partners insurance where the business can continue. just in case one pass away, the business can continue. So you can do that with term insurance. So it certainly has a place.
And
Or
also, I'm sorry to interrupt, Gwen. Also, what you say about the price and the reason why term is so popular because it's relatively inexpensive.
it's very
It's
inexpensive.
really inexpensive, and that's what a lot of people push, as opposed to telling you the whole deal is temporary.
That's right.
It's temporary, and we'll get to the permanent later on. But I just had to interject
No, no,
here
that's okay. That's okay.
just to say that key fact because a lot of people always say, oh, I got insurance, and and then you might be $25 for a family of five,
Oh
five
yeah.
hundred thousand dollars,
Oh,
but you got to look at what type of insurance. People always say, "Oh, I got insurance," and one of the key things we always hear, "I got insurance on my job."
oh boy.
And I got insurance on my job,
Hmm.
so I'm good. I don't need you guys.
Really?
But we'll talk about that. We're gonna get
No,
it.
no, yeah, no. Let's continue that.
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
have
okay.
insurance on my job. I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Now, how many of you have ever switched jobs?
Hmm.
You left that company. Well, guess what? When you leave that company, that insurance stays there.
Yeah.
The next job may not even offer that.
Hmm.
Okay. What if you get fired
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
you get laid off? You have no more insurance. So no, that is something that is there right now, but it may not be there tomorrow. So it's always best to have your own private personal insurance.
And what and actually what a lot of companies doing currently now, and I've been talking to different people, they're dropping their insurance just like quick.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
if you get fired, terminated, lay off, it say I think we are September 10th, the end of the month, your insurance gone.
Oh, absolutely.
You
I've
know?
also been with a company
Yeah.
where they had a benefit, say it was $50,000, and they decided that with the increase of employees, they decided to cut it back to 25,000.
Mm.
I've seen that happen. I've been
Ooh.
there.
Ooh.
Absolutely. And it's one of the things that you pointed out several weeks ago, Aaron, and that is a little known fact, and that is that term insurance, think about this,
Mm.
less than 1% of any term policy
Mm. Mm.
ever written. Aaron talked to you about North Carolina Mutual
Hmm.
that's been in business since 1890, what now?
1889. Yeah,
1889.
yeah.
There are a lot of other companies that's been in business longer than that.
Hmm.
Okay. There are several companies around the country.
Hmm.
Okay. Less than 1% of any term policy written. Now, folks, you got to listen to this. Less than 1% of any of all term policies has ever resulted in a claim.
Yeah, paid out. Yes, 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 yes. Less than 1%.
Less than 1%. What a cash cow for the insurance companies.
And the crazy part about it, so if you thinking about it, so if you get a 20-year policy, the odds are you actually gonna live. So that's a positive side.
That's the positive side. The negative side is you're gonna pay for it.
Right, right. You're gonna pay for it. You're gonna pay for it.
You definitely going to pay for
Yeah,
it. So
yeah.
no, folks, you really want. Now there is an advantage to have a term policy,
Hmm.
even beyond that, and I'm gonna tell you how you do it. Let's say you have a 20-year term policy. Did you know that you can convert
Mm.
part of that over time and convert? Let's say you have a 20-year term policy, all right, and you start making more money because you got a raise. You can take 25% of that term policy and convert that into a whole life policy
Hmm.
or a universal life policy or a variable universal life policy or an index universal life policy, which is permanent insurance that will last you for a lifetime. And those premiums, they will, well, variable, they may fluctuate a little bit. Universal life insurance, it will fluctuate, it can fluctuate. And I don't want to get too complicated here because there are ways to protect that as well. But term insurance, think about if you have it right now, think about converting it.
Hmm.
Okay. That way, all of your money won't go to waste, and when that policy expires. So you say 2 or 3 years from now, you convert 25%. Next 3 or 4 years, convert another 25%, and on until 100% of that is converted into a whole life policy or
Yes.
one of those others. Now, what's the advantage of a whole life policy? One of my absolute favorites, Whole life means exactly what it does. It will last you your whole life. And the great thing about it, it builds up cash. It
Yes.
builds up cash that you can use while you are living. That's why insurance is not a bad time. It's not a bad thing.
Yes.
All right, it will last you. Let's say I have right now. I've told this story many times. I have one client that has five $1 million whole life policies.
Mm.
Five. Can you imagine? After you had it for a while, you've got this cash at your disposal. You can use it for anything that you want.
Mhm.
Okay. And you can take money out of their policy tax free.
Yeah.
There's a way to do it. I'm not going to give all of our secrets away because you're going to have to call us. You're
Yes.
going to have to call me or Aaron. Call Aaron at 804-292-9034. Okay. We're not giving it all away on the
Yeah,
air.
yeah. This is just a teaser, like we call it an hour of power. Just a teaser. So you got to get the real story. It's almost like when you look at the movie, you get the preview. So we are the preview. So to see
That's
the
right.
ending of the movie, you got to call us to get the ending of the movie.
You're gonna have to get. Yeah, we're gonna give you enough to chew on.
Mhm.
We're definitely gonna give you. We will give you the appetizer.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
If you want the main course, you're gonna have to call Aaron at 804-292-9034 or William at 909-910-0265. But we will give you enough information to make a decision. And also, you want to shop around.
Mhm.
You want to shop around. Okay, check everybody else out, then come back to us and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And because we would sit down, we'll break it down for you. Okay. When we come to see you or you come to see us, we just don't slap our application in your face with a pen and say, hey, sign here.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We don't do that. We want to make sure that whatever we have will fit your needs. Because part of insurance, just like a suit, can be designed
Right.
to fit your size, your income, your lifestyle, you see. So you want to look at a whole life policy. It will build cash value because it pays dividends. Okay. And the internal rate of return, we'll explain that to you. Okay. Not on air right now. The internal rate of return is between 5 and 6%. You're not getting that at your bank. You're definitely not getting it. Put it in a savings account, see what happens. Okay. How many guys have savings accounts out there? You got savings accounts out there? Okay. How much are you getting off that $10,000 that you have in that savings account?
Mm.
How much you getting off of it? How much you getting off of that $20,000? Okay, it's less than 1%. I guarantee you that, and sometimes less than 1/2 of 1%. So I'll tell you what, there's no equivalence in the two. So you want to look at a whole life. It's a whole life policy.
And also with the whole life policy too, William, you made mention about getting cash out. So this is your money. So it's not like you go into a bank and you got to apply for a loan
That's right.
and all this type of stuff, and you got to ask people for money to borrow.
That's
This
right.
is your money.
That's right.
So you can get your money and then you can put it back, or you actually have the choice of not putting it back. But with that choice, it takes away from the value of it. But at the same time, you still have that choice. So you're in control.
That's right.
You're in control of that cash and that cash value. And it's one of the things you call your agent up, and you don't have to say, hey William, my water heater broke, and you don't have to explain anything to us.
That's right.
Nothing.
That's right. No credit check.
No credit check.
You don't have to worry about that. That's exactly right. And I tell you something else, Aaron. What I really get excited about when young people buy permanent insurance. When I say permanent insurance, whole life, universal life, variable universal life, index universal life policy, because over time, and you want to put that money away. You just don't want to borrow from. You say, oh man, look, I've got about $5,000 built up here. Let me go to Cancun. No, leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, take some of that other party money and go to Cancun with it. Okay, and look at what you do. So a lot of young people right now, you've got a good job, and so you are working all week, and you can't wait until the weekend, can you? So you're gonna go in that club and you're gonna drop $200, $300, $400, right? Oh yeah, you feel good about it? Okay, all right. Think about this. You're going to a club each and every week, and let's say you're dropping 200, which is easy to do. All right. Times 4 is $800, right?
Oh yes. A whole month, $800 a whole month.
Okay, why don't you cut it in half? Take that $400 a month and drop that into a whole life policy and see what happens in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years as a young person. And also think about this. The younger you are, the cheaper it is.
Yes.
Okay. The best age is, well, actually, any age, especially if you're young, they said 18 to 65. I'm going to disagree with that. Parents, okay. You go out and you buy these expensive toys for your children on their birthdays, okay? Or just because they want it. Yeah. Dad, Mom, I want this new iPhone 20. No, the 20 is not out yet, is it? Okay, I want this new iPhone. All right, what is that? What does that cost?
You talking about $1,500?
Oh boy, okay.
Yeah, about $1,500 maybe. Yeah.
All right. It's okay to buy a device where you can communicate with your children with. But a 6-year-old has no business with a doggone iPhone. When they're ham fat, they're going to do with an iPhone. Except for maybe getting into some trouble with it. All right? Because you know how they can navigate these equipment. Most of them better than I can right now.
Yeah.
A 6-year-old with an iPhone, oh, that's cute. I just bought little Linda an iPhone. Really? Okay. Do you know how you sound right now? Okay, I'm not going to embarrass you on air, but anyway, it's not cool. All right, or you buy these expensive toys each and every Christmas time and whatever birthdays and stuff like that. By the time night is over, it's broke. I remember so many times growing up as a kid, right? And we get all these toys here for Christmas. Man, Christmas night, half of them broken.
Yeah, either broken or they're not playing with it no more.
They're not playing with it anymore.
The next day, you're not even playing with the toy no more.
Okay. And I got an idea for you grandparents out there. I know a lot of grandparents listen to us. You know, there's a thing called grandparent gifting. Grandparent gifting. And this is really, really cute and really, really nice and something that's permanent. Get your grandbaby a permanent life insurance policy and then write them a letter. Put it in that policy. Now, you don't give it to them, obviously. You put it away.
Right.
And later down the road, you may be here or may not, and hopefully that you are at graduation time or by when they got married or later on in life, you give it to them. And that note says in there, we bought this gift for you years ago because we loved or I love you so much. Grandma, grandpa, okay, or both you guys.
Yes.
Oh, man, that is outstanding. And if you have a baby, or let's say the baby's just born, and you $25 a month or $50 a month whole life policy for a baby.
Oh, wow.
Number one, it is as cheap as it can get. And they can get a ton of insurance for $25 or $50 a month, and it'll build up cash for college. College tuition or marriage and so forth and so on, putting a down payment on that new house. Come on, how much? That makes a lot of sense to you. Okay.
Yes.
So that's whole life insurance. So folks, life insurance is not necessarily death insurance. Okay. We'll talk about final expense a little bit later on there in this presentation here, but write this down. You want to look in whole life insurance. Talk to your agent and have them break it down to you. What are the benefits? Now, one benefit that Aaron and I, one insurance company that we use, is called a fraternal insurance company. And do you know they offer scholarships and so many other benefits outside of what the policy offers itself?
Right.
College scholarships that you can apply for. Okay. And there's so many other things. I'm not going to give you everything right now because you're going to have to give us a call, Aaron, at 804-292-9034 or William at 909-910-0265. So check that off. We've gone over term insurance. We've gone over whole life insurance. And let's see, bills cash value, yes. Now, most of these require medical exams and some do. Yeah, they require medical exams. Now, it depends. There's some variables there that we need to talk about. We'll talk about those off the air. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, Aaron, is universal life insurance. Universal life insurance. Now, remember I was telling you that whole life insurance, how does it build cash? Okay, because it pays dividends.
Yes.
Okay, it pays dividends. You've heard of dividends, all right? You can look it up and find out what dividends are, but it pays dividends, which is different from universal life insurance policy because it pays interest. Okay? Dividends come from profits.
Yes.
Okay? This one pays interest, just like you get interest on your CDs, which are very low also. If you got a ton of money in CDs, look at the CD rates right now. Not too good. Not too good. All right. And last time I checked, they were in the low, like 1%, 2%, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay, not very good. But universal life insurance pays insurance interest. And right now, I think the going rate right now is somewhere around the 5%. That's not too bad.
Not at all.
That's equivalent to some of your fixed annuity. Some of your fixed annuity products, we'll talk about that next week. Your fixed annuity products, they're running right now. They're going up. They went way down, but they're paying right about 5%, which is also a good product. And some are ranging between 5 and 6, but they haven't gotten back up to 6 yet. I remember one time, Aaron, that when I first got into the business, that a fixed annuity was paying 7%.
Ooh, man.
It was paying 7%, and that's really. And think about that compared to the S&P 500, which is averaging right around about 9.
Right.
Okay, but that can fluctuate. Okay, but with the fixed annuity, it doesn't.
Right.
7% means 7%.
Yes.
And let's say it's 10 years, then that's 7% for 10 years, compounded interest.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what does compound interest mean? That means that your interest is making interest.
Yes.
Folks, come on, get into the game here. This is Money Talk Radio with William and Aaron. Come on, let's do this.
Yeah.
All right, come on, let's dance. Let's dance, all right? Now, that's universal life insurance. Now, there is a little trick to the universal life insurance because there are levels of premiums that you are with that product.
Right.
There are levels of premium, all right? And so there is the minimum premium. There is the guideline premium, and I believe there's the maximum premium, something like that. Okay. All right. But anyway, there are 3 levels of premium. Do not fall for the okie doke, meaning buy the minimum premium. Because the minimum premium, boy, that sounds like a deal. You compare that to whole life, you say, oh, boy, that's cheaper than whole life. Yeah, but guess what? It can trick you, meaning that if it doesn't keep up with the cost of insurance, guess what? You're going to have to dump in more money.
Right.
You have to dump in more money. So I would recommend that you talk to us about a guideline premium or better. And the thing about it is it pays off earlier. The more you pay into the policy, meaning that just like you have a mortgage, okay, it pays off earlier, meaning that you have no more payments left. The policy grows, the cash value grows. So you need to talk to us. It's pretty exciting, folks.
Yes.
We're talking about making money.
Yeah, and also I'm going to interrupt right quick.
Go ahead and interrupt.
Yes. So the university, you'll see a lot of this on social media,
right?
And all I see is hey, I'm an agent. I'm gonna give you the universal life, blah blah blah. So it goes back to what we were talking about before. You just can't throw insurance on people. You just can't throw it on people, and it may not be the best fit for you.
Right.
So, and that's what we're talking about. So that's why you got to talk to us personally, because don't look at. I've been seeing it for years, and the universal life is very, very popular right now.
It is,
and you see so much on social media. Get it. But again, it goes back to it's just like William made that example of a custom fit. It has to fit you. It might not be the best thing for you right now.
Right.
So that's why you got to talk to us. So,
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so you have to be prepared. So let's say you say, well, I like that universal life policy, but all I can afford is the minimum premium. But then I have to explain to you, well, be prepared because it may not keep up. Okay. And it's going to take longer to pay off.
Right.
It's going to take longer to pay off. Okay. So let's squeeze a little bit. Okay. All right. Let's cut back on a couple of those bottles of champagne, on the weekends and stuff like that. I think we might be able to make it. We might be able to make it. So a lot of us, we walk out the house, we blow a lot of money, don't we? We blow a lot of money. We really don't realize it. And I think about, I said, whoa, okay. I ain't going. I'm not going out. I'm not doing it. But it is expensive. Everything is expensive these days. So this is why insurance is so important, because you want something that is going to be. I would say, Aaron, it should be the foundation of your portfolio.
Right, and that's another thing too. You have so many financial people. We're not gonna say their names, but some of them just get away from that in your portfolio.
Uh huh.
And this is just what we believe. And again, just like William say, research everybody, research everybody.
Right.
And a lot of people would just kind of get away from it, about the insurance. But just like we would say about the whole life insurance, that's really one of the most safest ways to accumulate money.
It is. It is.
Yeah. No risk.
That is. And I tell you what, it's another thing too, Aaron. And like he said, research everybody. I want you to check out 2 or 3 agents and take notes and find out which one is breaking it down to you like we're breaking it down now.
Yeah.
Okay. If they're not breaking it down, says, "Oh, I think you should have term," and not ask you many questions at all, or you should have whole life. Whole life is a great product. Okay. But have them to break it down and they explain to you exactly what you're getting. The same with universal life insurance or any type of insurance. Find out, and this is the way you find credibility in your agent. You find credibility. Is that agent? Is he or she explaining things to you? So compare. You say take 2 or 3 agents and sit down and ask them the same questions: who, what, where, when, why, and how. How does this benefit? Okay. Who? Where does my premium go? How is my premium applied? Okay. Why do I need this? What are the features? What are the advantages? What are the benefits? Okay. Sit down and write down questions that's important to you. Okay. And I really want to, one main question is that you want to ask them, how does this benefit me and my family based on my needs and what I shared with you that I feel that my needs are? Okay. Now, with Aaron and I, a lot of times you may not know or a question or to ask, or all of the questions that should ask. So we will volunteer.
Right.
We will volunteer answers or questions, or we know that what most people want to know, and and we answer questions or ask you questions that you may not have been asked before, or bring up something that you hadn't thought about, or maybe offer a benefit that you didn't know that insurance would do for you,
Right.
or give you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's recap for a little bit. We talk about term insurance, and most times, I said 5, but most times it's 10, 15, 30 years. Okay, I think you can get a 25-year policy also.
20 years too. The 20 out there too.
20 years?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, it's out there.
Yeah.
And so if you have those type of policies, think about converting those policies. Meaning, when I say converted, it means turning a percentage of that into a permanent policy. Okay, and that will relieve some of the burden of you trying to convert the entire thing at one time. You can, if your income or your or your resources would allow you to. You can convert that policy now if your resources will provide. And now, did that agent tell you that? Well, if you're just hearing this for the first time, then no. Okay, they didn't tell you that. You can convert that policy. All right. So don't think that you have to wait 30 years until it's over. Don't think that. Call us. Give us a call. Okay. I promise you, we'll treat you right, and we will give you the answers. So you said, well, I already have insurance and I got it for 20 years. Okay. Well, give us a call. We'll find ways where you can maximize that. So, and turn it into a living benefit instead of a death benefit for you. All right. Let's do that. So term insurance. So it doesn't build cash, right?
Right.
And in most cases, you have to take a medical exam. Some are required sometimes, and it depends on the company. Now, if they're not requiring a medical exam or asking any medical questions, you might want to question that. You might want to question that because most companies don't take that risk.
Right.
They don't take that risk,
Yeah.
okay? We talk about whole life. Whole life, just like it says, it will last you for a lifetime. And yes, it does build cash value. Yes, it have. Now, you have to pay that for the rest of your life, obviously, mainly up to age 100. All right, but that's okay because of that cash at some point in that policy, it could be the 15-year period where you're going to see every dollar that you ever put in that policy in the cash section. Okay, so don't continue, just keep paying it. All right, because the more you pay or the longer you pay, you don't want to drop that policy anyway. It's going to continue to build that cash. All right. Universal life insurance. I'm becoming an increasing fan of universal life insurance because you can maximize that policy and pay it off early.
Yeah.
I know we gave a quote to one young lady that I believe she's in her 50s right now, and by the time she's 77, that policy will be fully paid.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
It'll be fully paid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Man, this is pretty exciting stuff. You never thought you'd be excited about life insurance, did you? Huh? You guys didn't know that.
No.
Oh, you didn't know that. All right. So let's talk about now. Before I get into variable life insurance, I want to talk about another one that's in my favorites. That is index universal life insurance. Index universal life insurance. Says, what? I've never heard of it before. Well, a lot of people haven't.
Right.
Okay. You ever heard of the S&P 500? You ever heard of the NASDAQ? You ever heard of the Dow Jones? All right. The Russell 2000, the Wilshire 5000. Okay. Well, some of those you haven't heard of, but most of you have heard of the
S&P
500.
Yeah.
Okay. That's an index. All that I just named right there, they are indices. That is an index. So imagine this. So the index will grow just like the S&P will grow, or those others that I mentioned to you. Imagine those inside of a life insurance policy. Okay? So it has some real upsides to it. And most of them have a downside protection, meaning if that index drop, your money doesn't. Okay? So we can talk to you about index universal life. Now, Aaron also sell what we call index annuities, which is my absolute favorite because it gives you the chance, even if you have a low risk tolerance, it gives you the chance to invest and somewhat in the market, but it reflects the market. You can get market-like returns without the market risk. Okay? Market-like returns without the market risk. Okay? So check it out. You really want to check that out. I love index. So index work pretty much just like the whole life in the universal. You pay your premiums, and it will last you for a lifetime. It doesn't go away, and it is a really good way to build your portfolio. Let's say you have no other investments. That is, in itself, is a good way to build your portfolio.
Right.
Now, imagine this. You have an index universal life insurance policy. The acronym is IUL. And you also have an index annuity. Those two alone, if you're a moderate investment and you're not one of these that want to act like you're in Vegas, all right, that is a great portfolio build right there on its own.
Yes.
I mean, it's outstanding. Now, you can take another small percentage. You say, oh, I've got more money that I want to invest. Then go into a variable. Get yourself a variable annuity. All right. You might want to buy some stocks or something like that.
Yeah.
But I would say I would have one or two of those, especially the insurance as your base, your foundation, right? But think about that. An index universal life insurance policy, okay, and an indexed annuity, or a whole life policy and an indexed annuity, or a universal life policy and an indexed annuity. Those are good foundations that you can build on to build your portfolio and leave a legacy for your family. We're talking about building generational wealth, folks. All right, and get policies on everybody. The younger they are, the better. I have another client that has she has 2 children and I think 3 or 4 grandchildren. Okay, and now we're talking about the children have policies that she bought when they were young.
Right.
And now we're talking about insuring her grandchildren. Okay, if she have great grandchildren, we're going to insure them too.
Right.
All right, that's the whole idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about recap a little bit. We talk about term insurance. Okay, that is temporary. Think T, temporary. Term, T, temporary. Okay, it does have its place. And talk to us if you want more information about that. You're gonna have to give Aaron a call, and his number. Aaron, what's your number?
804-292-9034. And right quick, when you was talking about the term, I was actually taught early in the game, but the term is like when you're dealing with a house, the term is like renting a home.
It is.
And the whole is like buying a home. So
perfect example.
So I always kind of put that in my head. So when you think about that, term is like you renting, and whole is like you actually purchasing a home, and one day you will actually own the home.
And that's a good question to ask yourself.
Yes,
that's a very good question. Do you want to rent or you want to buy?
Yeah,
I like that, Aaron.
Yeah, and it's okay to rent if that's all you can do
for right now.
For right now, and just like we say, temporary. And a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of agents, unfortunately, not going to tell you the whole deal when you're dealing with term because it's what I call women. It's a fear factor,
right? It's
a fear factor of death as well as financial.
That's it.
So they want to hold over your head like, oh, insurance is expensive. Whole life is expensive, and you can't afford it. Go ahead and get this term,
right?
But just like we say, term has its place. So we're not saying term is bad. Don't get never ever get term. Term has its place,
right?
But you want to talk to a professional that's going to give you the whole deal.
That's it
on term as well as whole,
right?
Like what we doing, like we breaking it down. So a clear sign is when you have somebody, a professional that's going to come to you, and term is all they're going to push.
And another thing, you may think in your head that whole life is expensive, but think about that. Really? It's an investment.
It's an investment.
How much you want to invest into yourself? How much are you worth? I had a friend one time, and he rode motorcycles, right? And so this was several years. This was a couple of decades ago. He just got his motorcycle, and he wanted to buy. We were out in California, and you have to have a helmet riding in California. I don't know how it is in Virginia, but you must wear a helmet. And so he went to the motorcycle shop, and he said, I need to buy a helmet. And so the guy said, here, my helmet's over here. He said, this one is $25. This is $50. This is $100, so forth and so on. And he said, shucks, why don't I just get a $25 helmet? He said, well, if you have a $25 head, then go and get it. So he ended up buying $100 helmet. That's a true story, man.
Oh, man.
That's a true story. So how much is your head worth? How much is your head worth? This is true. And so we would over term, whole life, universal life, and index universal life policies. And now, let's get into variable. Variable is also a permanent policy, okay? However, variable life insurance comes with its risk. More risk than the others that I spoke of.
Yes.
Okay, because variable is in the market. You're definitely in the market there. If the market goes up, you're a winner. If the market crashes, it's going to diminish the value of your policy and also any cash that's in it. Okay, and variable is just like you buy a variable annuity. A stock would be considered a variable because it could go up or it can go down. All right, and there's no downside protection. As with index universal life, there is a floor there. Okay, if the market goes down, you don't take that risk. You do not take that risk. So variable, if you're young and you say, and because over time, the market shows that the variable will pay off for you. Okay, and that's if you have time to let the market do what it does. Okay, because over the history, the market has always rebounded,
Right.
and like I said, the S&P 500 has averaged a little over 9, some 10%, between 9 and 10% over the years. Okay, but now remember, you guys living back in 2008 when the market crashed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I had a boss. Now he thought he was Mr. Know-It-All. Okay. He thought he was Mr. Know-It-All. And he had $1 million in his 401k. $1 million. 2008, he lost half of it.
Ooh.
$500,000.
Oh, no, he hurt.
He lost.
Oh.
Okay. And that's when he started coming to me for advice. And I said, okay, I'll help you out. We got it back in about 5 years. But it took 5 years to get it back.
Yeah.
So think about all the growth that he missed in 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, if he had an index, it wouldn't have taken that long. Well, he wouldn't have lost it.
He would have lost it, yeah. No
in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay. Could have ridden the rough times. And then when the market got good, got better, then he could have, gained or made a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So think about that variable. If you're young, let's say you're in your early 20s or even 30s. Mm-hmm. Okay. And maybe 40s if you want, and you have time to ride it out, a variable may not be bad, especially if you're a risk taker. You say, look, I want to maximize my dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
The variable may be the thing for you.
Right.
But you have to measure or have a gauge on your risk tolerance. That means how much can you bear? Mm-hmm. Okay, I've had people come in my office and say, I want to make as much money as I can. Okay, I say, I want that variable. Yes, I like how that works. I said, okay. What happens if you lost some of it? Oh no. I said, well, you might want to rethink that. Yeah. Come on, we have some other options for you.
Yes.
If your stomach can't take it, then don't take the risk. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's recap a little bit. We talked about term insurance, right? Mm-hmm. Term insurance, it has its place, like Aaron said, it has its place. All right. There are some upsides to term because sometimes you can't afford it. You're getting married and you really want to get some insurance. Okay. But don't sit on that. Let's say you're married, you're in your early 20s, right? Life is great.
Right.
Okay. Life is great. But then you want to think about, this is not going to last. So I want to start thinking about converting some of this or all of it. Okay. Or maybe the agent just want to, there are some agents or some agencies will say, hey, buy term and invest the difference.
Right. Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No.
And also when you talk about the time and the young people, right quick, I remember going to a training a while back and it was a lady, just gonna make it brief. It was a lady who lost her husband.
Uh-huh.
And, they was married for, I can't remember how many years. But don't you know the term, I think they had like a 15, 20-year term.
Okay.
And the guy died. And this goes back to the 1%. The guy died shortly after the policy expired.
Whoa.
He was terminally ill. She was taking care of him, all this type of stuff. And the story about the whole training was that she didn't know anything about any type of living benefits, because the husband got terminally ill. Uh-huh. So she had to take care of him and different things like that. So she blew through her insurance and savings and all this type of stuff.
Right.
Insurance didn't pay anything because nobody told her in the beginning when they got married.
Wow.
So sad as it may seem, the guy passed away, and then when she went to her policies, whatever, that's when found out she had the term policy. The term policy expired. I think from what I can remember with the story, like 30 days before he passed.
Oh my.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's pain on top of pain.
Pain on top of pain. So again, that goes back to what me and William say. You got, just like anything that's an important investment. Do your research. Do the research on, like you say, 2 or 3 different agents or whatever. Just don't jump at one who's giving you like a big dream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So do your research.
Please do that. And conversely, I've seen tutorials where these are young widows
Hmm.
where their husband were in. Let's say you have some of you out there that have husbands that's in high risk
Yeah.
employment,
Right.
high risk jobs rather.
Yeah.
It could be a police officer, could be a firefighter, it could be just about anybody that's in first responders.
Right. Right. Right.
Okay, they could be in high risk jobs. Let's say they are contractors or builders,
Hmm. Hmm.
tree cutters,
Hmm.
or something that they could get injured on or kill. Okay, there are tutorials out there where, as sad as it was, the mother says, I tell you, as painful as this is, I'm so glad that my husband loved us enough
Hmm.
to take out a life insurance policy, because otherwise I don't know how I could make it,
Hmm.
because you got your house to pay for. Some
Hmm.
people have had to move out of their homes.
Yes. Yes.
Some people have lost their homes because they lost their spouse.
Hmm.
Okay, and at a very young age, can you imagine? You get married, and it happens, folks.
Every day.
You get married, and a year or 2, 3 years later, your husband or your wife passed. That is devastating by itself.
Right.
Okay, and let's say you it's a 2 family income,
Hmm.
and you lost half of that income.
Hmm.
And with the prices of everything right now, it is hard to sustain. Very difficult. Then you got children, you got education.
Hmm.
Okay, what about college?
Hmm.
And so those stories right there, they were touching also. And I should share some of those with the actual video, with some of my potential clients, on how it saved their lives. They lost their partner, but it saved their lives because he or she was thoughtful enough and loved them enough to says, okay, I want to make sure that my family is taken care of. You see.
Yes.
So we're going to recap real quick, because we only have about 5 minutes. Term insurance, we talked about that. Temporary, like Aaron said, but there's some upside to it. Okay, you can convert some of that. Whole life will last for your lifetime. All right, whole life. I love it because it also builds cash. And like Aaron said before, you could take a loan out on that policy. You don't need a credit check.
Hmm.
Okay, you don't have to ask anyone for your money. You don't have to say, okay, can I get some money out of my policy? No, you just say, look, I need this out of my policy. No questions asked, and a few days later you will have it. There's universal life insurance policy. The whole life pays dividends. Universal life policies will pay interest, and also make sure that you get the right level benefit. The right level benefit, meaning don't go for the minimum premium. Don't go for that, because you could catch you off guard. You don't want to do that.
And this is something too that I've heard in my young career of again, do your research and ask questions when you're dealing with this particular product, because like I said, you don't want to go for the low end because it's quote unquote cheaper.
Right.
You want to do your research. With that, I've heard stories already about people doing that, and just like William said, it hurts you in the long run. So
It certainly does.
research.
It certainly does. No question about it. So that's whole life. We talk about that. That pays dividends. Universal life insurance policy pays interest. And the more you pay into the policy, the faster it gets paid off. That's the unique one of the most unique things about universal life insurance policy. Okay. You can pay it off early, and it continues to build for you. So it's pretty exciting stuff. We talked about index universal life insurance policy. Like I said, what is an index? Like the S&P 500. Can you imagine that inside of an insurance policy? It will give you the market type returns without the market risk. All right. We talk about the variable insurance, and I would, if you want to talk about variable, because some agent came in there and said, "Look, what you can get with this variable compared to what, right?" But the downside is that variable can go down.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And guess what? It can leave you out, pantless. I'm to be nice about it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the last one, I want to wrap this up. We got 2 minutes. Final expense. Of course, that's one. If you say, look, I want to make sure that when I leave here, that my funeral and things like that they're taken care of. Final expense. You can get some real good prices on final expense products. All right. That's final expense. You can get 25. Most policies I've sold are like final expense for like $25,000.
Right. Right.
And the premiums weren't that high.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I think you can get up to 50,000, but I think there's a cap on how much you can get with final expense.
Yeah. The highest I've seen was about 50.
Right.
But
Right.
Mostly 25.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, man, that's another epic Money Talk Radio, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and I'm glad that you brought it up. That we need to give a recap, and we're going to keep bringing you recaps.
Mm-hmm.
We're also going to keep bringing it back because a lot of times we need to hear this thing more than once. We need to hear things over and over sometimes in order for us to really grasp on what's going on. But
Right.
again, if you want more information, call us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, call us. Aaron's number. Aaron, your number.
804-292-9034.
Or you call William at 909-910-0265. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to Money Talk Radio. Now, tell your friends. You can also go back and listen to this again on YouTube. Just go to Studio W The Buzz. Go to our Facebook page, Studio W The Buzz, the website. This entire broadcast will be up on the website tomorrow, and that is studiow.buzz. We'll be available on Google Play, Apple CarPlay, Alexa. Our free apps are for Apple. Go to your Apple App Store and download Studio.w. For Android, it's simply Studio.